We have the dual core 1 gigahertz, 1 gig of RAM, 960 by 540 resolution, 16 gigs of internal storage, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, HDMI, 5 megapixel camera, dual LED flash, Android 2.2.1, Motorola Atrix. Hey everybody, it's Daniel here for Mobile Syrup, Motorola Atrix. So let's take a look at it. Atrix. First, you'll see that it's actually a very slim device. You have your HDMI cable and your micro USB cable on the left-hand side, and on the right, you have your volume rocker over here. On the top, you have this 3.5mm jack and the power button, which also doubles as a fingerprint scanner for security purposes, which I'll show you a bit later. And on the bottom we have nothing. There is a second noise cancelling microphone as well. On the back you have this nice textured display. And I'm just going to zoom out here because I can actually refocus now when I zoom out, which is awesome. So it's actually a really nice design. I love the design of the back here. It doesn't feel like it's textured, but the textured look is attractive, and the plastic is matte, so it's very grippish. You're not going to drop the phone at all, and it's very subtle. The 5 megapixel camera with dual LED flash also supports 720p. On the front we have this gorgeous 960 by 540 display, and let me just turn that on. And you also have the VGA front-facing camera. A little disappointing it's only VGA, but I guess they had to keep the price down somehow. Just a quick word on the build quality. It's all plastic. The front portion here feels a little bit more like metal. It has an aluminum type smoothness to it, but it's certainly all plastic. The back, however, a little bit low grade plastic, and what they've done is, in order to keep the phone thin, they've made the backing quite flexible, and you know, it's not a very firm piece of plastic. However, in order to keep it secure, they've actually kind of wrapped it around both sides of the phone, so you have the battery cover very securely fastened on there. Let's look at the phone itself. It's running Android 2.2.1 on a fairly stock version of Android. It's certainly not going to confuse anybody who's never used the operating system before, and for any newbies it's very welcoming. It's got these widgets. You have your messages, your Twitter, your Facebook, you've got your calendar, and general Google widgets as well are available. You have tips and tricks. You have a clock widget as well as a a picture frame, and Bell's included a widget there for their own portal. You have news, you have weather, and the nice thing about the Moto Blur widgets is that you can actually interact with them, so you can swipe through them to see, say, the different cities that you have registered there for the different articles. Swipe through them like that. You saw a little bit of slowdown. That's not really indicative of the operating system. It's more the Blur experience, which I'll go to later, but you can see scrolling is extremely smooth. Hold down the power button. Let's just wait for that to go away. Hold that down and the 7 home screens will be presented to you there, kind of like HTC Sense. When you scroll through as well, this bottom bar will change and you can speed through them like that, which is a nice helpful feature. They've also included a quick access to the manage apps here, and you can see that. You can see your running apps as well as your media area, for example. And there aren't a lot of apps running in the background. compared to HTC Sense, which inundates your RAM with processes in the background. I found that this is fairly lightweight actually compared to, say, the Motorola Clique or the Backflip, one of those first generation Android 1.5 devices. This obviously has killer hardware. It's got a dual core processor with a dedicated GPU. It's got a gigabyte of RAM. So the apps themselves are not going to fill up the storage. But when you're worried about apps in the background slowing it down, especially ones that you can't uninstall or control when they start up, this is actually going to be to your advantage, because Motorola has not loaded a whole bunch of bloatware on there. You can see the few apps that they have installed, voice commands. You have tethering and mobile hotspot, which is your general shortcut to Wi-Fi hotspot, which is included in Froyo. You have quick video was pre-installed on here. You also have the Google apps like navigation, maps, latitude, which I would love to get rid of if I could, but you can't. They've installed Let's Golf and Asphalt 5 demos, which are useless. But a couple of the more usable apps, Media Share, which is an app that you can share media between different devices, like if you have a device that's set up for it, for example a computer, you can share say a movie or something. You can access it through Wi-Fi, and you load on your Wi-Fi hotspot, and your computer will detect any media that you are sharing, and you can access it there. And also you have your Motorola Portal, the WebTop connector, which is the WebTop laptop dock that will resume any web pages that you've saved. Very useful if you want to kind of continuously rotate between using the phone, and then when you come home, say, you can load up the pages you were surfing on the laptop dock, and then you can leave. So there's a lot of continuity there, and it's a persistent state kind of thing that Motorola is going for. If you remember those first generation iPod commercials, you were listening on your iTunes and you load it up on your iPod, listen to it when you're going out, you come back home and you listen to it again on your iTunes. Kind of like that idea. The camera app, the UI is very sparse but usable. Takes great pictures, 5 megapixels. Loads very quickly and snaps very quickly too. Autofocus as well, and you can change different scenes. These buttons over here are nice and easy to access as well. And what you can do as well is you can change to the video camera, which supports 30 minutes at a time of HD 720p video, and that also allows you to use the light, which is very nice. And you can change the front-facing camera. Hi guys. And this is running on the VGA camera down there. Not great quality, but it'll do for your quick video, conferencing, etc. There's also Tango, Fring, a bunch of other options as well if you're not into the iOS FaceTime stuff. The internals of this device are awesome. They're very, very good. There's two 1 gigahertz A9 Cortex A9 processors with a dedicated NVIDIA GPU in there. And what this allows you to do is connect to the Tegra Zone, which is a app store for games optimized for the Tegra platform. Essentially, you're going to be able to re-download, if you want, previously released games. I've already paid for Fruit Ninja, but this is Fruit Ninja that's been optimized with special graphics, details, and effects, including more detailed fruit models, higher resolution textures, new gameplay mechanic that slows down time. I don't know what that means. There's no way I'm purchasing it again for $3. However, this is what you can expect. There's going to be a lot of fragmentation in the future when vendors and manufacturers try to come together and create value out of their hardware and marry it with different software. So while I'm not opposed to the idea per se, I just think that it's a little bit cheeky that I have to repay for a game that I already purchased. Most apps that you have run on an 800 by 480 resolution Android phone will run perfectly well on this. I've found no problems except for one app, and that's Slacker Radio, and it's not even a bad issue. You'll see that the controls overlap with some of the information at the bottom. That's likely because they just haven't yet updated the app to support the QHD 960 by 540 resolution. You also notice that this is pure 16 by 9 res, so video watching on this is going to be great, and I will show you that with the HDMI dock in another video, but it's very, very helpful. Unfortunately, the MotoBlur does not support landscape mode at all. What you can do, however, if you really do want to get rid of the MotoBlur experience, go into the marketplace and purchase ADWX or one of the other. This is paid for, but you can download ADW Launcher. They're free alternatives, and they will just get rid of that front end for you. The back is the same. Your apps will run just like they did before, but that kind of slowdown that people experience with MotoBlur that they don't like, that just disappears. So I'm going to load this up here, and you see it's a brand new interface, and it just runs great. And it's the same Launcher Pro or ADW EX that you experience on any other phone, and there you go. You know, you're rid of MotoBlur if you really want it. But to be honest, I really don't dislike MotoBlur. I actually think that what they've done with it is they've simplified it and disconnected it enough from the core OS that it's no longer intrusive. So what are you getting with this $169.99 phone, or $169.95? You're getting not only a viable iOS alternative. Let me just go into the browser for a second. I know people were asking about that in my Nexus S review. So I'm just loading up Mobile Syrup. You'll see that it loads very quickly on the Bell network. The browser in this, you can use the default browser for sure, and you can see it loads up instantly. It also scrolls really nicely. It zooms in very, very smoothly, and notice that this is also with Flash running. You have tons of Flash on the sides as well. This is the desktop version of Mobile Syrup, and it looks great, and it runs really well. Flash runs fantastically on this phone. It's got enough horsepower really to power anything, and you wonder, why would I go with this over the iPhone? Well, sure, the iPhone 5 may be coming out, it will be coming out in the middle of the year, and it's going to have a dual-core processor, but this really is the next generation of phones. It's fast, it's good-looking, it does not get in your way, and unless you're a super hacker and you want to load custom ROMs, this phone will not be for you, but for everybody else, I think that this is one of the fastest phones ever released. It's a great phone. The screen is wonderful. The text just is fantastic. You can see, I'm going to try and zoom in and just try to capture some of this sharpness. It's absolutely stunning, and it really just blows any other Android device out of the water. I'm going to try and give you a quick comparison between the Atrix and the iPhone 4. You can see fairly similar form factors, similar width. Mine's in an ugly white case. I apologize for that, but I'm just going to load up Mobile Syrup really quickly. Okay, so you see over here, and you see all this extra screen resolution with that you're getting by the 4-inch screen versus the 3.5. You know, Safari really does not get out of your way. There's this persistent bar at the bottom here. It's really just ugly, and you don't realize how much screen size you're losing with this top bar here. I mean, sure, there's one at the bottom, at the top here on Android, but with the 4-inch display, and the resolution is pretty much the same as it is on the iPhone. It's just 100 megapixels more, 100 pixels more. So I'm just going to zoom in the furthest it can go, and you can see kind of the difference. I guess that's about it. So you're really not going to notice much improvement in come on, don't fail me now. So you're not going to notice too much improvement on the iPhone versus the Atrix, and I think that's a testament to the quality of the LCD. So a couple other things I just wanted to show you. I'm gonna load up the security here. So you go down to location and security and set up screen lock, and you have this fingerprint, and I already have a fingerprint. Do you want to reuse your existing profile? Yes. So what I do is I'm just going to swipe my finger. There you go. And I'm going to choose a pin, and I turn it back on. It's going to ask me to swipe finger sensor. I'm going to just swipe it like that, and it's going to vibrate if it gets in, and that's it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I think that this is a wonderful device and something that everybody will find use for. The accessories I'm not a big fan of. I think this phone rests very well on its own, and for that I will definitely give it a 9 out of 10 and a great recommendation. For anybody who likes to hack your phone, stick with the Nexus S. That's coming soon as well. But you know how I feel about that. It's Android, it's your phone to take advantage of. But anybody who wants to use this phone for business, it's got great exchange support and everything else in it that really is lacking in stock Android. It's very robust in this version, and unless you want to hack your phone, I think this is the best Android device you can buy today. So that's it, guys. This has been Daniel from Mobile Syrup, and thanks so much for watching.